week after Dan arrived with us back 8 months ago, we came to the cabin and we brought her with us. And now we're 1 week from Dan leaving and we're back at the cabin again.
Yeah. So we're going to go take her for a quick hike somewhere that she's never been before. And we thought we'd take you guys along with us.
It's kind of far. What is it, 2 miles each way?
I think it's like right at 3 miles round trip.
Round trip? Okay.
Yep. So I just thought I'd show you guys. Somebody asked us to show wild edibles that we find in the forest. And while they're not ready, the forest is filled with wild strawberries. So it's really fun to just snack on. They're itty bitty, you know. And then right behind Todd, you'll see a whole bunch of baby bushes, and that's wild blueberries. And again, they are the itziest, spitsiest blueberry you'll ever find. Our property's filled with them, and where we're going is where we first identified them.
We also just found today, for the first time ever, morel mushrooms on our property. I think I found 3 and Dan found 1. So tonight when we have our dinner, when we get back, we'll keep you guys with us for that part. We're going to cook them up and have them with our steaks.
Oh, look, Dan, wild violets. I don't even know if that is a violet, though. That's not really a violet leaf.
Oh, it's pansy.
Oh, pansy. Wild pansies? Really?
Because they have...
Look, the little pansy head.
Yeah, what I have from a salad. Because they have this white.
Yeah.
You okay?
Just shocked.
It's gonna be a really bad signal because I'm hiking in the middle of the woods right now.
Oh, fine.
Love you. All right. So this little hill right here, it's gonna peek over to the river, and then it's just lined with blueberry bushes. So we affectionately named it Blueberry Hill, and that's not its proper name, but we enjoy it. Oddly enough, these are much bigger blueberry plants, but they are not fully leafed out yet. They're not even close to blossoming. But this goes, you can see all the way down and wraps around, all blueberry bushes.
You can see way down there. It's the same river that runs past our cabin. We're just about 1.5 miles downstream. Whoa. Well, we've linked back up. We're almost to the Magic Forest place. Is that what we call it? Magic Forest? Mm-hmm. We have like...
We make up names.
We make up names for all kinds of things. We have like on our property the South Point and the North Point and...
It's the South Valley.
South Valley.
Yes.
Blueberry Hill, the Magic Forest.
Yeah.
But there's something down here cool I want to show you guys. Hopefully I can make it without... I'm taking the short way instead of the long way, so hopefully I don't fall. Check this out. Beaver. It's a nice beech tree. It won't be for long. The beavers are working their way at it. Chew them little chunks right off. Amazing. We found so many small trees on our property during this trip that existed along the riverbank, and they're just not even there anymore. Little stubs like this sticking out of the ground. Beaver chewed the whole thing. So I never really thought that beavers would live in running water like this, where it's just constantly running. I know they like to build dams and build ponds and that type of stuff, and I don't think they can do that in this river. So I don't know why there's so many beavers around here, but they can stay, I guess. They're welcome. So we've made it to the magic forest. It's a very, very, very old. Let's see if I can see way up. Old grove of hemlocks and white pines, I believe. Massive. This has got that nice no ground cover, kind of dark and shaded from all the canopy. Cool little pond area, some old logs. Just reminds me of like a scene out of the movie, like that there would be a wizard here or something, and or a little man that lives in a hut over there, like a little Yoda character or something. Show him what? Oh, yeah.
Look up that trunk. Just look straight up there. It would probably be 80 feet before you even touched a branch. Maybe 50. There's such a thing as tree hugging, right?
Yeah.
I love it. So pretty.
Forest bathing as well.
Oh, yes.
Is
that an old red pine right there? It sure looks like a red pine.
This is red pine for sure.
Yeah, this one is like
And this is red pine too. This massive red
you guys
pine,
should
isn't
feel
it?
the bark. It's so nice.
Yeah, those are massive. I think there might be some cedars mixed in too.
Yeah, there was for sure. That's a cedar right there. Or hemlock. I know we have eastern cedars and hemlocks.
And hemlock, and white pine, red pine, jack pine.
It's beautiful down here. But I'm always scared of bears. When we left, I said, Todd, you didn't bring your gun.
I know, I forgot this time.
So we have black bears in the forest. They're not prevalent this far south yet, but we should bring protection just in case.
So we don't do a whole lot of this vlog style footage of holding the camera and walking with it and talking. We do a lot of tripod work in our videos, so if this seems like it was shot by an amateur, that's kind of why we don't really do this that often. It's kind of the only way to do this. Can you see that big leaves right there? I almost wonder if that's rhubarb. But it's like soaking wet down here and I can't. Ticks. More beaver damage. Oh, this thing's not even attached. Yeah, sharpens them right up like that.
So this is a sassafras tree. We have tons of them in the woods. None that get really big, but I had planned this trip to harvest sassafras leaves to make my own filet powder. My filet powder at home is pretty old and stale, so I could use some fresh powder. If you don't know what that's used for, it's used as a thickening agent for soups and stews. And we're just gonna have to come back again so I can harvest it. But we're heading back to the cabin now, so we'll see you guys there.
So Dan just was over here checking something out and she came running like she was afraid. Like you were afraid.
I thought it was dead, so I just be sad, but...
Yeah, she said she thought she saw a dead baby deer back here, but I think it's alive.
find, Dan.
That was very cool.
My goodness, I've never seen that in my life. Good job. It's like Bambi. Real life.
I'm happy that it's healthy.
Yeah.
I'm just afraid that why it's not moving. Why it's not running away.
Yeah, it got up and as soon as I shut the camera off, it got up and it took off and it ran. So it'll link back up with its mama and grow up and live a healthy life. That was so sweet though. So darn cute.
Hey, after you just said I haven't seen any wildlife.
What?
After you just said I haven't seen any animals. And you found the best one.
That's so good.
Todd and Dan are walking back towards the driveway. I just wanted to point out right back here is our property marker. And we own 10 acres of this beautiful forest. But let me just walk in here and show you something. Oh, I'm quite sure I've not walked every single section of this place. Some of it's pretty hard to get around. So you're gonna see lots and lots of deadfall. My neighbors are building a new cabin on their property. And while we can hear them, we can't see them from our property. But look how super, super, super thick the forest is, which isn't good. And because we own it, we feel quite a sense of responsibility to manage it. And only getting up here once a month, twice a month during the summer makes it a little challenging. But when we get back, Todd's gonna start cooking dinner and we'll show you some of the steps that we're taking to slowly work our way into managing this little piece of national forest that we own.
We love these pine trees. We had so many. In fact, we probably had too many. Something's been killing them. We were pretty convinced that it was the pine bark beetle that came through here and was killing them all off. We took pictures of it. We sent it off to U.S. Forest Service. They sent somebody out here. They inspected the trees. They said, nope, that's not what it is. You just have too many pine trees. Still not quite sure I buy it. But all these ones that we've been cutting out today are dead. We've been working on it today. We worked on it yesterday. Every time we come up, we just try to continue to remove some of this stuff that we think is bad for the forest. And then we try to burn it as quickly as we can so it's not just sitting out here in the woods. If it is a beetle like that pine bark beetle, we don't want it here. Every time we've shown this little tool in one of our videos, we get about 10 questions of what it is. It's the best Father's Day present ever, especially for someone who loves campfires like me. Rachel got this for me, I'm pretty sure on Amazon. Did it come on Amazon?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, if it's Amazon, we'll put a link down in the description below. I did add this little spring because it doesn't come with it. All I did was drill a hole Maybe the holes were already there and I just went to like Lowe's and bought a spring and stuck it in there to make it open back up on its own. Very handy. So I know for the most part, when it comes to forest and it comes to nature, in a lot of ways it can take care of itself. If we weren't here, the forest would be fine. When you start introducing things like invasive plants, species that don't belong here that compete with the native species, insects like pine borer beetles and ash borer beetles, things like that that normally don't come from here, but yet they were introduced here. That's when we kind of need to help our forests along and help to manage them.
Yeah, and I think a forest can take care of itself in that it can burn down and regrow just fine. I mean, it's been happening all over, everywhere, all the time. But when you live in it, you kind of have a different view of, like, sitting around with all these dead pines is kind of like living in a matchbox. Just, it's an ignition source like no other. So beyond just managing the invasiveness of pests, we've got to work on thinning this forest out and working our way. And what we've been doing is just slowly working our way from the cabin and cleaning up the dead. Because honestly, guys, with the frequency that we get up here, we couldn't finish this in our lifetime.
It'd take us 20 years.
Yeah. So some days we do, or weekends, we do come up here and really just enjoy. But having not been here for 8 months, I felt a little behind the 8 ball on doing our part. So don't let this topic discourage you from, if you're searching for recreational property or off-grid property in a national forest or in a forested environment, specifically in a national forest or state forest, because the benefits far outweigh the effort that it takes to manage it. I mean, being right on a very secluded river that you don't see. In 4 years of ownership, we've never seen a person going down our river. And the access to 4,000 acres of trails and the peace and quiet, and of the neighbors that we have, very rarely are we here on the same weekends. It's Memorial Day weekend, so of course everyone's up. But then our neighbors are wonderful. So anyway, I just say that to say don't let it discourage you, but understand what comes with the territory of owning such forested land like this.
We literally have, of the 10 acres, we have the only part that's cleared is the footprint where our cabin sits.
Yep, that's true.
The rest is what you see behind us.
Yep.
And
that's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
We'll get there. It's fun. And we're encouraging our kids to come up and build cabins here. So guys, come build a cabin so we can clear more space.
Yeah.
And there's such neat spots around the property that would just be ideal for cute little cabins to be built. And no one would be able to see each other. It would be like they have their own private little space.
Yeah. So we're going to let this fire cook down. It's got to cook down maybe another 10-15 minutes or so. So while that's happening, we can get dinner ready.
Yeah, sounds good.
Get it prepped and get some steaks on the fire.
Yeah, this video's got to be getting long by now, so.
Our day was long. We did a lot today.
Heck yeah.
Our picnic table's seen better days. That was here when we bought the cabin. The previous owners left it for us. And I think it's going to get cut up and thrown in the bonfire soon. So this is our steaks of choice for this weekend, for tonight. Hopefully I don't drop these because there's carnivores at my feet ready to, covered in Montreal steak seasoning. What it is, it's a cut of London broil, and they cut it into these thin strips and they run it through a tenderizer, stick a big chunk of fat in the middle, and then they wrap it around in a circle and put a stick through it. We love them. They're our favorite. Local butcher shop does them. I think they call them pinwheel steaks or something like that. I don't know if it can be found other places or not, but our fire's ready, so we're gonna get these guys on the fire. Rachel made up some garlic toast bread. We're gonna cook that on the fire too. And I'm starving. Rachel's experimental garlic bread turned out amazing.
And we brought our own salad mix from home, straight from the garden. So Dan's been enjoying that.
It's amazing.
And I made our own dressing with some kombucha vinegar, apple cider vinegar, some olive oil, some of the chive blossoms, some tarragon, and some lemon balm.
And is it good?
Yeah, it's great. A little brown sugar I put in there too. Oh, did you pass it to me to open it? I can't get it either.
Hello.
Okay, I got it.
Well, it's about 6 o'clock. Still a nice day. It's pretty warm. Got up to almost 80 degrees here today. Tomorrow the high is about 70. So we're gonna finish up or have and enjoy our dinner. Take some showers and sit out by the campfire for the rest of the night.